Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's topic of discussion is clinical manifestation and function of limbic system. We will discuss the function of limbic system via two important clinical scenarios, or you can say two important clinical case. First important clinical case is recognition of emotion without awareness. Okay, this is simple means that we sometimes can recognize emotions, but we have no any conscious awareness of that emotion. Okay, we will start. Description. We personally had the experience of feeling uncomfortable without knowing why. This is the common practice that we sometimes feel unhappy, we feel sometimes angry, we sometimes sad without knowing the reason. What it hints? It hints that some pathway leading to conscious awareness are partially independent of pathways leading to emotional response. What it means? It means that some pathways which should go to the sensory or motor or any conscious awareness center. Okay, instead of going to conscious center, they give rise to a tracks which actually lead to limbic system, specifically emotional center of limbic system. Okay, so that this pathway which should go to the conscious awareness center of the brain, but they actually go to the emotional center of limbic system, and they elicit emotional response. For example, patients of prosopagnosia. Okay, in this in this condition, patients have important clinical lesions on the basal surface of occipital and temporal lobe, specifically on medial surface, so that medial-basal surface of occipital and temporal lobe is damaged, and this condition occurs. Person Patient have no conscious recognition of familiar face. Person cannot recognize the familiar face or unfamiliar face. It cannot distinguish. Okay, consciously on the basis of the conscious centers, but the person have an autonomic response to some familiar face, some sort of autonomic response. What should be that autonomic response? It should be strange, it should be anger, it should be happy, it should be anything. Okay, autonomic response, what it means? In this condition, in this clinical scenario, we have seen that conscious awareness center is damage, which is present in the medial basal surface of occipital and temporal lobe, which is also called facial recognition area. Facial recognition area. Actually, in this scenario, amygdala was involved. So we should study the important function of amygdala. What is amygdala? What is important clinical functions? These are covered in a separate video, but in this context, I will briefly describe the function of amygdala. Amygdala is considered a window through which limbic system can see the place of person in the world. Amygdala is considered as a window through which the limbic system sees the place of person in the world. Okay, what it means? It means that amygdala is involved in the receiving of emotion from sensory experience and integration of that emotional component and provision of that emotional component to our motor activities. Specifically, amygdala is involved in the sensation, integration, and provision of emotional content to our motor activities. The role of amygdala in this emotional response was demonstrated in the case of an unfortunate 52 years old physician who had a stroke affecting the left occipital lobe and parts of left parietal and temporal lobe. Initially, he had sign of right-sided weakness and fluent aphasia, which soon resolved, but he was left with right homonymous heminopia. 36 days later, he had second stroke, this one affecting the right occipital lobe. When tested several months later, he could not detect movement or colors, even in the presence of a strong light source. He was unable to identify any geometric shapes or objects, large or small, in the visual modality alone, and had to rely on hearing and touch in his everyday activity. Despite being cortically blind, when asked to guess, he was often able to distinguish the emotional expression in picture of faces like angry, sad, frightened versus happy. Okay, even though he was unable to distinguish between other kinds of picture, when he looked at the picture of angry, sad, frightened faces but not happy faces, blood flow measured by functional magnetic resonance imaging. In this scenario, how amygdala is involved? In this scenario, amygdala receive the sensation, extract the emotional content, then integrate that emotional content and provide that emotional content in her body language. Okay, clear? In his body language. Another important function of amygdala is it is concerned with memory. Okay, it is concerned with encoding and recalling emotionally charged memories. Amygdala is specifically involved in the extraction, that is sensation, integration, then provision of emotional content, and also encode that emotional content in our memory. It is involved in the storage of that memories which are emotionally charged, those memories which actually activate our reward or punishment sector, reward or punishment centers. During retrieval of fearful memories, the theta rhythm of amygdala and hippocampus becomes synchronized. Theta rhythm, we will study this theta rhythm in electroencephalography, EEG. It means that all the events which are associated with emotional component are remembered better. They are remembered better. Why they are remembered better? Because amygdala is involved in encoding and then recalling that emotionally charged memories. Okay, these are the important function of amygdala. In this person, there's a lesion of occipital lobe. Okay, so that he could not conscious aware of that picture, but some pathways lead to emotional center of limbic system. These pathways actually elicit emotional response. Okay, so that he could recognize the unhappy face from happy face, he can distinguish the sad face from happily face. Okay, amygdala is involved in encoding, recalling, sensation, integration, and provision of emotional content to our motor activities. Okay, this is all about the function of amygdala. Next clinical scenario is player of gentle touch. Before going through this scenario, we should know the actual nerve fibers and their classifications. These are the two tables which demonstrate the classification of nerve fibers. Nerve fibers are classified by two methods. Okay, one is the general type of classification, other is sensory or physiological classification of nerve fiber. First is the general classification, second is sensory classification. General classification is based upon the degree of myelination, degree of degree of thickness, degree of velocity. Okay, myelination, conduction velocity, and diameter. According to the general classification, our fiber are divided into three categories: A, B, and C. Type A fiber are further divided into four categories: A alpha, A beta, A gamma, A delta. B are not further divided. C is further divided according to their site of location, whether they are present in dorsal root, whether they are present in sympathetic system. Okay, first fiber type is A alpha. A alpha fiber function in proprioception and somatic motor. Their fiber diameter is 12 to 20 micrometer. Conduction velocity is 70 to 180. Okay, second type is A beta. A beta, they are important in the touch and pressure, specifically discriminative touch, specifically discriminative pressure, fine pressure. Their fiber diameter is 5 to 12 micrometer. Conduction velocity is 30 to 70. Okay, third category is A gamma. A gamma, their main function is to motor to muscle spindles. A gamma variety to intrafusal muscle fibers. Okay, A alpha to extrafusal muscle fibers, and also in proprioception. A gamma, their fiber diameter is 3 to 6. Conduction velocity is 15 to 30. Fourth category is A delta. They are involved in pain and temperature. Specifically, pain, which type of pain? Fast pain. And which type of temperature? Mostly cold. Okay, their fiber diameter is 2 to 5 micrometer and conduction velocity is 12 to 30. Okay, second fiber type is B type. Their function is preganglionic autonomic. Preganglionic autonomic. Their fiber diameter is less than 3 micrometer and the conduction velocity 3 to 15. Third category is type C fiber. They are divided into two categories depending upon their anatomical location. First fiber is if they are present in dorsal root, they function in pain and temperature, specifically slow pain and hot. Okay, temperature. Fiber diameter is 0.4 to 1.2. Conduction velocity is 0.5 to 2. Next type is type C. Type C, if they are sympathetic in nature, they are present in post-ganglionic sympathetic fiber. Post-ganglionic sympathetic fiber. Their fiber diameter is 0.3 to 1.3. conduction velocity 0.7 to 2.3. Second classification is of nerve fiber is according to the functional classification or sensory classification. Which sensory receptors are they associated? For example, 1A, 1 alpha, and it's also called 1A. Okay, their origin is muscle spindles, specifically annulospinal ending, and they are A alpha type. Second type is 1B, they are Golgi tendon organ, they are A alpha variety. Third is type 2, are originated from muscle spindles, specifically flower spray ending, touch and pressure, and they are fiber A beta. Type 3, they are pain and cold receptors, and some are also touch receptors. They are fiber type A delta. And the type 4 are pain, temperature, other receptors. They are actually type C, and the pain should be slow pain and temperature should be hot receptors. Tactile sensation, which are actually touch, pressure, vibration, they travel through large diameter afferent, and track is dorsal column medial lemnical system. Pain, temperature, and visceral sensation, they travel through small diameter fiber, and the track is anterolateral track or anterolateral system. But they are specialized unmyelinated afferent, which are type C. Following are their important features. Number one, these afferent, which are type C, respond not to harmful stimuli or temperature changes. They respond to soft, gentle stroking, lacking in glabrous, that means okay, non heat. Poorly suited for tactile discrimination because of slow conduction velocity. They cannot be selectively stimulated because of diffuse receptive field. Analysis of patient condition and role of C fibers. This is a clinical history of patient whose name is GL abbreviated. At the age of 31, GL developed an autoimmune syndrome that resulted in the degeneration of all large diameter sensory fiber in her spinal nerves. When studied 23 years later, following things are important. She denied any touch sensibility below nose. Her perception of touch, pressure, pain, itching are intact. What it means? It means that all the sensations which are carried by afferent, specifically large diameter afferent fiber, A beta, A alpha, A gamma, A delta, they are damaged, lost. When same gentle stroking was applied to her forearm, and if she concentrate, this is the key word, concentration, she was able to perceive a faint and diffuse touch sensation, which is called pleasure. It means that some area of cerebral cortex is involved in diffuse faint recognition of sensations, specifically tactile sensations, and this areas also receive information from visceras. Which area of cerebral cortex which receive that kind of information? This area is called insula. Okay, insula is activated in all of us in response to wide variety of stimuli that makes us feel comfortable and comfortable. All that kind of stimuli which excite our reward or punishment center, they are actually involved in activation of insula. What should be that stimuli? Pain, temperature changes, fatigue, looking at picture of loved one and looking at picture of someone else who is seemingly in pain. Comparison and analysis. To GL forearm, GL is a patient, of course, and the control subject. In the GL, when gentle stroking was applied, then what happened? Activation of contralateral, insular, and premotor cortex. Non-activation of primary and secondary somatosensory cortex because the receptors are destroyed. But in normal, both are activated. Insula, premotor cortex. In part A, the x-axis show the nature of stimuli and the y-axis shows detection percentage. Okay, the blue one shows for GL and the gray one for control subject. Okay, in the B diagram, we can see that y-axis shows rating and x-axis shows the site of stimulus. The stimulus is applied to forehead, where the stimulus is applied to control subject in arm. Okay. In this diagram, this shows that insula and premotor cortex are specifically involved in the receiving of that kind of information which are involved in activation of reward and punishment center. Okay, all that information which actually excite our reward or punishment center actually activate insula and premotor cortex, specifically more important insula, and insula also receive information from body listeners. This was all about today's lecture. Hope you have enjoyed it.